Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is January 2nd, 2026. Happy New Year's, everybody. And we got some big news for you this week. The Google December 2025 core update finished this week, and some big publishers got demolished. We also have the Frankenstein AI-recipes, which are a Google horror, and a lot more news, including New Year's news. So definitely stay tuned. There's a lot to discuss. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Bruce Clay. Bruce Clay is one of the founding fathers of the SEO space, doing SEO since before most of us were actually alive, in 1996. Bruce Clay is big into SEO training. Check out the SEOtraining.com website to learn more about those training services, and also check out their product called PreWriter.ai that helps writers become better writers. Anyway, thanks so much, Bruce, for sponsoring. Thanks for all you do for the community. Deeply appreciate it. Wishing everybody a healthy, happy, and successful 2026. Let's get into that news. Okay, so the big news this week is that the Google December 2025 core update finished. I have a video, a very vloggy video on that alone, which you could definitely check out. I go into all the details on that. But basically, it took about 18 days to actually fully roll out. It started on December 11th, finished on December 29th. It looks like to finish actually a week before that, but I asked Google to let us know if it finished before that. I did not hear back. All I saw was that Google updated the status report saying when it finished, but Google did not get back to me if it actually finished before the posted date. In any event, that update was completed, and we think the big spikes happened on December 13th and December 20th. And then after December 20th, it really calmed down really quickly, and that was it. So I do see some spikages over the past, not yesterday, but like the day before and the day before that, so like around the New Year's Day. But keep that in mind. In any event, the core update is now complete. It took about 18 days officially from Google. I think it probably took about closer to, 12 or 13 days to fully roll out. But again, Google gave us that data, and I can't really argue with them, can I? And then Will Flanagan and Glenn Gabe both noticed some major spikes, changes, both in terms of increases and decreases when it comes to big news publishers. Will Flanagan posted that some publishers based in India that were doing incredibly well prior to the December core update saw significant declines. Here's a chart from Systrix from him. And then Glenn Gabe shared before that how some news publishers are seeing really big surges and some news publishers are seeing really big declines when it comes to traffic after that core update was released. So it could be impacting them. We'll see. Sometimes these things take time to settle out, and we should probably check them in another week or so. But if you are in the news area, you may have noticed that as well. And of course, every year I post the annual Google algorithm infographic, algorithm update infographic. We only had 4 updates this year. We had 3 core updates. The December core update, which just finished. Before that, the June core update. And then before that, the March core update. And then we only had one spam update, the August 2025 spam update. And I posted the infographic. It's a very simple infographic. Last year, I think we had 7. Prior years, we had like 9 and 10. So it seems like Google's sending out less core updates, even though they promise us more core updates more often. That being said, we are seeing lots of unconfirmed updates. I posted tons of them over the past year. And then Gag and Gorta used AI to actually chart those, which came out really cool. Here's some of those infographics if you haven't seen them yet. Some nice work there as well. And then I kind of summarized the news around AI Frankenstein recipes that Google's showing. So Google's been showing AI-generated recipes, both as AI overviews and also in AI mode. The AI mode's probably worse. And Inspired Taste has been getting a lot of press around this. They got press from NBC, CBS, Bloomberg, CNN, The Guardian, of course, from us numerous times, where basically it's really killing their brand. Basically what happens if you do a search and you love the brand Inspired Taste, you do a search for, give me the Inspired Taste meatloaf recipe. And then it will come up basically taking parts of the Inspired Taste meatloaf recipe and then making up other parts, rooting the recipe and making it taste potentially horrible and giving the Inspired Taste brand a horrible name because it's saying this is by Inspired Taste. But really it's not, and it can come out really, really bad. And that's why they're called Frankenstein recipes, because they're pulling from different areas and making stuff up even though they're not part of the same source. It seems like Google cooled down a little bit when it comes to the AI overviews and showing those recipes, but when it comes to AI mode, it's still doing that, so hopefully it'll get better, but it really is not a good situation for recipe bloggers. And then John Mueller questioned the need for using ccTLDs for some international websites. It's actually the first time I saw Google actually say, maybe you don't need ccTLDs, and the reason for that, and he said, is it makes things harder not just for you to maintain multiple websites, completely different websites because they're on ccTLDs, but also it may make it harder for search engines to understand each site. when you have everything on one site, it makes it easier for Google to understand things. Obviously, if you're a massive site and you need to do that, definitely do that. But maybe there's a reason not to use ccTLDs. And a lot of people were like, oh, we should use ccTLDs for this. It's the best way to communicate to Google. But here he's actually saying that maybe it's not, which is really interesting. I haven't really seen that before from Google. I don't know if that's new or not, but it seemed new to me. And then John Mueller also posted about Schema and if it helps with LLMs and Google. And the ultimate answer is depends. He posted this yesterday on New Year's on Reddit, basically saying some things it does help. Well, obviously, when it comes to shopping, you have getting real-time pricing information, availability, and options. Very big deal to get that information as fast as possible, and Schema helps with that. But other things like just riching up the research results, like the rich results having stars and all these things, that is just a presentation layer. And there's other things that Google and LLMs don't even use, but you could just use them and it doesn't really make a difference. So definitely take a look at that as well. Google's John Mueller also posted about 404s and how they really don't matter for SEO because 404s are normal. And Google's been saying that for many, many years. Not much new there. So he went and posted about that also yesterday. And then we see Google's testing a new button. Basically, it says send in blue in the search box. So as you type your query in the Google search box, the AI mode button on the right goes away, and then this new send button in blue shows up. This is an interesting find there from Shahim. So nice find over there as well. And then Google keeps testing, showing in the AI overviews a speaker icon. This we saw being tested in overseas, like in India and other regions, not in the US, but Glenn Gabe has been noticing this show up more and more often in the actual US results. He thinks it might be tied a little bit to if you do voice searches more often, that it might show you this voice icon, but we're not really sure, and I can't replicate this at all. And he also spotted that Google Chrome, their browser, is testing replacing that gray Gemini button at the top right of the page with a colorful Browse with AI button. And then Leo Peva noticed that they're testing not just just different colors, but also different colors with Ask Gemini, Ask Chrome, Browse with AI, and then just Gemini itself with different colors in the Chrome browser. I guess Google's trying to get more people to actually use that Browse with Google and the AI feature in Chrome. Bing is testing expandable People Also Ask. So Google forever had it when you click on a People Also Ask button, it will actually expand and show you more People Also Ask options. Bing doesn't do that by default. They're testing that right now. This is spotted by both Sachin Patel and Kshul Barwini, so nice find there. Microsoft seems to have added in their Microsoft Advertising Console the ability to add custom columns for advanced reporting. This is spotted by Jawad Zahir, who posted the screenshot, and it seems like Nava Hopkins confirmed it. Nava Hopkins is the Microsoft Ads liaison, so nice find there. And then also Microsoft Advertising seems to have rolled out an All Accounts tab. So if you manage multiple accounts, you're able to see all your accounts in a single tab, which makes it a little bit easier and shows you overviews across all those accounts. This is spotted by Rakshid Shetty. Nice find there. He posted that on LinkedIn. Then I did my annual year-end stuff on New Year's Eve, like December 31st. I posted about the top contributors to the Search Engine Roundtable. We quoted thousands and thousands and thousands of SEOs and SEMs over the course of 2025, probably hundreds of thousands over the course of the whole 22 years. But we basically broke down who are the most contributed. So obviously like John Muse, Sachin Patel, Glenn Gabe, Brody Clark, Ginny Marvin, Anthony Higman, Gagan Gorta, right? Tons and tons of people. I can't go through the whole list, but thank you all who went through this. Otherwise, to make a whole video would probably take me 20 minutes just to list the whole list. But anyway, you can check that out on Search Engine Roundtable on December 31st for more information. And then I posted the most commented articles on the Search Engine Roundtable for 2025. And of course, the most commented articles were all related to Google updates, except for one where the Google actually removed the ability for third-party tracking tools to actually track them. But we've received 18,000 or so comments over the past year, so thank you for all those who comment on the Search Engine Roundtable as well. I appreciate it. And then on New Year's, Google posted their New Year's Eve and New Year's Day doodles. So I have some screenshots of that, which I like to post every year. So happy New Year's. But what was weird is that on New Year's Day, I went ahead and checked the Google homepage, and they displayed the New Year's Eve doodle on New Year's Day for some reason. And Google actually fixed this. Rajan Patel from Google, he's like the VP over at Google, engineering or so forth, said it should be fixed now. It was scheduled for 6 a.m. Pacific to release instead of midnight. They should have released it at midnight as opposed to 6 a.m. They've been moving the doodle releases to around 6 a.m. Pacific for some reason, but this should have been a midnight release because when you clicked on the doodle, it said it was December 31st when it really was January 1st. And for somebody who like wakes up to a new year, to see that, it could be a little bit weird. Not like life-threatening, but just weird. And then John Mueller posted his annual I love this. The Mueller report of SEO memes. It's pretty funny. If you want to laugh, you want some type of fun or so, definitely take a look at that. There was like, I don't know, dozens and dozens of memes that he collected over the past year, and then he shoots out a whole blue sky thread around them, so definitely take a look at that. And of course, John Mueller and a bunch of Googlers and even some folks at Bing actually were working over the New Year's Day. So John Mueller posted several responses. He's been doing this for the past 18 years, actually, just like he does on Christmas. So did Martin Splitt from Google, so did Rajan Patel, as we said, so did Fabrice Cannell from Microsoft Bing. He actually supported to a weird bug in Bing as well. So a lot of people are actually supporting their search engines and SEOs over the New Year's Day as well as Christmas Day as well. And then super sad to report the loss of a really experienced, friendly, just downright nice guy, Andy Drinkwater, who passed away unexpectedly, I believe. I'm not sure the details right before Christmas. Wishing prayers for his family, for all those who know him, all his loved ones, and hoping for everybody to have an amazing, healthy, successful 2026. Thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. Deeply appreciate all your support over the past year. And here's wishing to an amazing 2026. Again, thanks to Bruce Clay for sponsoring and for being there as a staple for the industry for the past 30 plus years. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.